Have you ever wondered why two developers use the same AI model but get complete different answer? The secret isn't the model, it's the prompt. Today, I'll show you 5 prompt engineering patterns that I use in real production.NET API. By end of this video, you will know how to get more accurate AI response and even force the model to return the clear JSON that your frontend can use directly. Before we start writing prompt, let me first define the model that our API will use. Just like any ASP.NET Core Web API, we need request and response model. The only difference is that this time the response will be generated by AI instead of our business logic. I am creating a new file called promptmodel.cs to keep all of these models in one place. The first model is code review request. Let me quickly create it. This represents the data that our client sent to the API. It contains two properties. The first one is the source code that we want the AI to review, and the second is the programming language. I have provided C# as the default value, but this can easily change to Java, Python, JavaScript or any other language in the future. This gives our API the flexibility to analyze different programming language. Next, let's create the code review response model. This is the most important model in today's episode because it defines the exact how we want the AI to respond. Instead of returning unstructured text, we are asking model to return well-defined objects. Look at all the properties. The first one, verdict property, provide the overall assessment of code such as approved, need to work or reject. The issue array contains all the problems identified by the AI. The suggestion array includes recommendation and best practices for improving the code. The complexity score gives us the simple rating between 1 to 10 and helping us understand how complex the code is. And finally, the summary property provides a concise overview of the complete code review. The next model is bug report request model. This model is much simple. It accepts the bug description from the users, which we will use to determine the severity of the issue. And finally, we have a bug severity result model. This contains the severity levels such as low, medium, high or critical, along with short explanation describing why AI assigned the severity. This model acts as a contact between our API and AI service. Now let's create a new controller called prompt controller. Up and until now, we have been sending simple prompt to Azure OpenAI. But in the real world AI application, we rarely have just one type of prompt. Different business scenarios require different prompt engineering techniques. That's exactly why we are creating dedicated controllers. This controller will act as a central place for all of our prompt engineering example. Before we start implementations of our prompt engineering endpoints, let's connect this controller to Azure OpenAI. Since we already have configured Azure OpenAI in our previous episode, we don't need to write that code again. Instead, we will simply reuse the same implementations from our existing chart controller. I'm copying the dependency injection code from the chart controller because both the controllers communicate with same Azure OpenAI services. Now that our controller is connected to Azure OpenAI, let's create a helper method to get the chart client, which we will use in every prompt engineering example throughout this video. To avoid the repeating same code, I am creating a helper method called getChatClient. It reads the deployment names from the app-setting.json and return a chat clients. From now on, every endpoint will use this helper to communicate with Azure OpenAI. Now let's build our first prompt engineering endpoint, which is the code review API. This endpoint combines two powerful prompt engineering techniques. First, role promptings and another dynamic context injections. Let's see how they work together. This endpoint accepts a code review request objects from the request body. Before sending anything to Azure OpenAI, I perform a simple validation to make sure the code isn't empty. If code is provided, if code is not provided, then we immediately return a bad request response. This prevents an unnecessary API call and follow good API design practice. Next, let's create a system prompts. The system prompts define AI behaviors. It tells the model who it is and how it should respond. Instead of using generic prompt like you are helpful assistants, I am giving the model a specific role. Here I am telling it to behave like senior .NET code reviewer with 10 years of experience. And then I define a set of rules. For example, don't use unnecessary conversational phases. Return the verdict in specific format. List every issue separately and keep the response concise. This instruction makes the AI much more consistent and significant, reduce the unwanted or unpredictable response. Now, if you look into this, let's create another technique which is called as dynamic context injections. Unlike the system prompts, the information change for every request. Here, I am injecting the programming language, the current review dates, and finally the source code submitted by the users. Because this value are inserted at the runtime using C# string interpolations. The same model endpoints can handle different language and different requests without changing the prompt itself. This makes our AI application much more flexible and easier to maintain. And finally, I combine everything into the message collections. The system chat message contains the AI role and rule, which user chat message, while the user chat message contains the actual request and code review. The separation is important because it clearly distinguishes permanent instructions from the user specific inputs. Now our prompt is ready, and the next step is we will send this message to Azure OpenAI and receive a structured code review response. Now let's move on to our second endpoint, which is used to classify the severity of bug report. In this example, I am demonstrating two more prompt engineering techniques: few shot learning and chain of thoughts. Let's start with few shot learning. Instead of simply telling the AI how to classify bug, I am providing a few real examples. For instance, a minor UI alignment issue classified as in low. A slow dashboard becomes a medium and payment failure is high, and the login issue affected all user is critical. This example helps the model recognize the pattern and procedure much more consistent classifications than instruction alone. And finally, we pass the user bug description to Azure OpenAI, and the model returns the most appropriate severity based on the both example and reasoning steps. Now let's build the final endpoint analyze, which demonstrates one of the most important prompt engineering techniques for production application. Instead of asking AI to return a plain text, I am defining the exact JSON structure that I expect in the response. The AI must return a verdict, a list of issue, suggestion, a complexity score, and short summary. I am also adding a few rules to prompt, such as returning only JSON without markdown or extra text. This makes the response predictable and much easier for our application to process. Next, I append the programming language and source code that the user want to analyze. And finally, this is the most important line in the today's video. Response format equal create JSON object format. This tells Azure OpenAI to return a valid JSON object instead of free-form text. As a result, our .NET application receives a clean structured data that I can directly map to our code review response model. This approach is much more reliable and is exactly how production API are built. Now that's all our endpoints is ready. Let's switch to the scalar and see the prompt engineering technique in action. Let's start with review endpoints. I'm sending a simple C# method for the code review. And notice that the AI doesn't just review the code, it follows the rules and rule that we define in our system prompts. It defines the issue, explains the problem, and also provides the clear suggestions for the improvements. This is the power of role prompting and combined with dynamic context. Our API has now returned a clear JSON response. Let's quickly understand it. The verdict gives a overall result of the code review. The issue field is used to list any problem found in the code. And the suggestion fields provide recommendations to improve the code, such as adding validations for divide by zero and including XML documentation. The complexity score tells us how complex the code is, and in this case it's 5. Finally, the summary gives a short overview of the complete review. Because this is a structured JSON response, our .NET application can use it directly without any extra parse or cleanup. Now let's test the classify endpoints. This time, instead of sending the source code, I'm sending a bug descriptions. The AI reads the descriptions, compare it with example we provided in the prompts, and follow the reasoning steps before making a decision. In this case, it's classify the bug is high because it affects the users and need immediate attention. This is how few shot learning and chain of thought help the AI make more accurate and consistent decisions. So if you look into this, AI has clearly given us a suggestion. This affected to security and data integrity, and user may be able to face the issue with when he forget the password. If you don't receive the email, the account might be locked and admin needs to be unlock it. This is how we get the suggestions from the AI, and we will see the severity as an high. And finally, let's test the analyze endpoints. In this example, I'm sending a C# code to our API for analysis. This endpoint is use the fifth prompt engineering techniques that we learned today, which is structured JSON output. I'll click the execute and Azure OpenAI will analyze the code and return the response. As you can see, instead of returning the plain text or markdown, the AI has written a clear JSON objects. Let's quickly go through the response. The verdicts give you overall result of code review. The issue field lists the problem found in that code. The suggestion fields provide the recommendations to improve the code quality and follow the best practices. The complexity scores give us a simple indications of how complex the code is. And finally, the summary provides short overview of complete analysis. The biggest advantage of this approach is that our .NET application can deserialize this object directly into our code review response model. We don't need to write any custom parsing logics, making the application more reliable and easier to maintain. This is how the structured output help us to build the production ready AI applications. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the more AI related tutorials. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for the watching.